This week, we're going to go deeper into the idea of systems, what they are, and how understanding them changes the outcomes we produce. A system is a set of rules, incentives, and relationships that shape behavior. The earth operates as a system, and within that larger structure, humans build systems of their own. Economics, governments, societies are all systems. The main problem many people face today is the gap between their ideal vision of how systems should work and how those systems actually operate. That gap is where failure lives. Moral expectations do not produce operational understanding. We were taught that if we do the right things, the system will reward us accordingly. Work hard, show up, be honest, play by the rules, and the outcomes will follow. Sometimes that is true, but reality is often more complicated than that. Promotions do not always go to the most competent worker. Institutions do not always operate according to their stated ideals. The system you were told about and the system you actually live in are not always the same. Once you understand this fully, you stop colliding with reality and start navigating it. Consider a few common examples. A person can be 30 years old, they have a degree, they have a job, and still live paycheck to paycheck. A small business owner can have real demand for what they offer, a product people actually want, and still be unable to scale because poor credit cuts off their access to capital. An intelligent, thoughtful person can still struggle to build the relationships they want, not because of who they are, but because of how they navigate the system around them. These outcomes are not always the results of laziness or lack of ability. They are often the results of misunderstanding the systems involved. The person is doing everything they know how to do. The problem is what they know how to do does not match up to how the system actually works. Understanding a system does not mean approving of it, but understanding is the beginning of change. This is adulthood at the highest level. Not just paying your bills and showing up to work, but seeing the environment you are actually operating in clearly, honestly, and learning to move within it accordingly. Hard work is necessary, but it is not enough. Income, wealth, credit, dating, and career advancement are all systems. And like every system, they have specific parts that make them work. They have flows, money moving in and out of your account, energy moving into and out of a relationship, what comes in, what goes out, and whether anything is left to accumulate. They have feedback loops, patterns that reinforce themselves over time. The reason some people keep getting ahead while others stay stuck is often a feedback loop running in the background that no one ever explained to them. They have leverage points, specific places inside a system where a small, precise action produces a much larger result. Most people never find them because they are pushing hard at the wrong part of the system. And they have hierarchies, defining the game each level is allowed to play. Not everyone is working with the same options. That is not an excuse, it is information. These systems do not care what you think or how you feel. They simply produce outcomes based on their structure. If you jump from a 10-story building, the system of gravity does not care if you believe you can fly. It produces the outcome its rules require every time. Outcomes change when you understand the system well enough to operate differently within it. Effort matters, but systems determine results. This is why airplanes are such fascinating technology. They do not break the system of gravity. They do not fight it or wish it were different. They operate within it, with such precision and understanding that hundreds of thousands of pounds of metal can lift off the ground and cross an ocean. The Wright brothers did not defeat gravity. They understood it. They found the leverage point, the place inside the system where a small, precise design produces lift, and that changed everything. In the same way, a sea captain does not wish the tides were different. He maps them. He reads the weather. He studies the currents, understands the forces, and plots a course that uses those forces rather than fighting them. Success works the same way. The more clearly you understand the systems around you, the better equipped you are to navigate them, not to wish them away, not to be defeated by them, but to move through them with intention. Navigation is what turns effort into results, but you cannot navigate a system you cannot see. So the first question is not, how hard are you working? The first question is whether you actually understand the systems you are working inside. Step aboard.